Hi there, this is a video to help people who want some advice with tuning. Doesn't matter what lyre you have or how many strings it's got, the principles are going to be the same. Also, whether you have a nylon strung instrument or a metal strung instrument, it's pretty similar as well. So the first thing you need to do is find out from the manufacturer, from the paperwork that comes with your lyre, or the information when you're buying the lyre, it should be in there somewhere, as to what the strings are naturally. So I know that this is a G and the top string is an A because I checked before I bought it to find out. So I know that I can't really move very far from that without risking the string snapping or the string becoming too loose to play comfortably. So you can change the sounds of the strings up or down by, I would say, half a note without risking too much of a problem. So within those notes I've got G, A, B, C, D, E. Now I've turned that into an F sharp. It could have been an F natural. I could have dropped it by half a note if I wanted to change the sound of the lyre, and I can do that for different pieces. So most of the time it is the F and the B notes that you might want to adjust up or down. When you're tuning, do it very gently and very slowly. So when I first got the lyre, I tuned little by little. I didn't try to get it straight but up to the accurate note, because I didn't want to put stress on the strings. So I moved each peg up slightly, waited for a few hours, and then went back to try and tune them up a little bit more until they were exactly where I wanted them to be. The closer to the note you get, the smaller the movements are going to have to be. And I kind of try to sort of wiggle up and down a little bit until I get to the middle place where usually the exact note is for me. And that's probably, you know, as much as I can say about how I tune my lyre. There are lots of other probably ways of doing it out there. I tune by ear, but there are apps out there, and there are tuning devices out there as well. It's worth learning the notes enough for yourself to be able to know what note you're playing on the lyre. It'll just help you learn pieces, it'll help you tune, and it's not all that difficult. So even if you're just playing by ear, it's worth knowing a little bit about what the notes are called, and the differences between the notes in terms of whether it's a whole tone or half a tone. So a whole note goes from, say, G to A. A half tone would be from G to G sharp or F to F sharp. So that will help you with your tuning as well. If there are any questions, pop them down below, and I'll do my best to answer them. And for the most part, it's quite easy to tune. The pegs should not slip. I've had no problems with that on this lyre. It is a little bit tricky to get the exact note I want. I have to make very, very small movements the closer I get to getting the accurate note, and that can be a little bit tricky. It takes a bit of patience, but it's worth it. And then it tends to keep its tune quite well, unless it's in a very hot place or a very cold place. And then, you know, especially with metal strings, you'll find the tuning changes. So as I say, if there's any questions, just let me know in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer. If there are any gaps in what I've said as well, do let me know. And yeah, happy playing. It's worth also having a quick look at scales. So you've got major and minor scales. So your major scales sound quite happy and they're quite straightforward. Your minor scales are a little bit more moody in flavour. There are two kinds of minor scale. So once you know your notes, it's worth looking at that. If anyone wants a tutorial on scales, I'm happy to do that. And then you want to perhaps look, if you're interested in medieval music in particular, you want to look at the modes. So the modes are the kind of keys that existed before major and minor scales, and they have that kind of very medieval sounding sound to them. So okay, so that's almost a D major scale there I played, but it's got one note that doesn't belong there, so I've changed that to make it sound more medieval. So that's more of a minor scale, that's an A minor, and then if I was to play G, so that is a G major scale, and you can see, you can hear probably already that my line needs a little bit of tuning. I won't do that on camera because it will take ages, although if somebody wants to see that, I'm happy to provide that. So again, let me know in the comments below. So even within one lyre you can get lots of different kind of moods and sounds by playing around with tuning. So happy playing, and I'm making a lyre actually, so if you're interested in seeing that progress, I have a Facebook page, and I'm going to post a video up about that too. Thanks, bye.